This quick clip, Revision Request in ecrt, outlines the specific multi-step process for handling payroll revisions within the ecrt system when inaccuracies are identified on quarterly statements.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today our mission, well, it's really specific. We're looking at how payroll revisions work in the ecrt system.
Right, ecrt, the electronic certification tool for effort reporting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're diving straight into the technical documentation here. The goal is a really quick, clear understanding of how these adjustments get processed.
Yeah, we're essentially tracking this process through two main statuses that you really need to know about.
What's up?
Revision requested, that's the start, and then revision pending, which is closer to the end.
Okay, got it. So let's kick things off. What actually triggers this whole thing?
It starts when someone finds inaccurate payroll info for an employee on their quarterly ecrt statement.
Right, so someone spots a mistake.
Mm-hmm. And it could be either the department effort coordinator or the PI, the principal investigator.
Okay, and they do what exactly?
They find the line, click the revise payroll checkbox, and then hit the main revise payroll button.
And boom.
Yeah.
What happens immediately after that click?
The statement status instantly changes to revision requested.
Okay, revision requested. And what does that mean for the process?
It means everything stops. I mean, it's a hard lock. You can't do pre-review anymore. You certainly can't do the final certification.
So the system effectively puts up a barrier.
Precisely. It needs something else to happen first, outside the system, before it can move forward.
And speaking of inside the system, what task gets created?
Ah, yes. A specific task item appears. Project statement revision requested.
And where does that show up?
It lands on the work list for the department effort coordinator, both the assigned and the primary one.
Under the pending payroll tasks tab.
That's the one. And an important detail, you only even see that tab if there are actually tasks waiting in it.
Makes sense. Okay, so the coordinator sees this task. What's the next move?
They have a decision to make. They review it and have two options: approve or reject.
Approve meaning?
Meaning, yes, a revision is needed, and crucially, a payroll adjustment is already being processed somewhere else, in the HR system.
And reject?
Reject means, actually, no, after looking closer, a revision isn't necessary after all. Maybe it was flagged by mistake.
Okay, and this is a really critical point. You mentioned the actual payroll adjustment doesn't happen in ecrt, does it?
Absolutely not. That's key. ecrt is just reflecting things. The real administrative work, the dollar adjustment, that happens in the separate HR system.
So ecrt is essentially waiting for that approved posted data to flow back in from HR.
Exactly. It has to come through the normal data load channels.
So if the coordinator clicks approve, what happens to the ecrt statement status then?
It just stays there. It remains in revision requested status. It sits and waits until that HR adjustment data successfully loads into ecrt.
Okay, it's stalled until the external fix arrives. Now, what if they approve it, but then realize, oops, didn't need that?
Ah, yeah, the documentation highlights this. You can't just undo an approval yourself.
So what do you do?
The coordinator has to contact OSP support, that's the Office of Sponsored Programs.
And ask them to.
Ask them to manually reopen the task. Only then can the coordinator go back in and click the correct reject button.
Bit of a manual workaround needed there. Okay, so let's assume the adjustment was needed, it got processed in HR, and the data finally loads into ecrt. What happens next?
Right. This is where the bottleneck breaks, like you said. The status automatically flips
From revision requested to
revision pending. And the system sends an email notification to the department effort coordinator.
alerting them that the data is in and ready for the next step.
Mm-hmm. And that next step involves a new task called process project statement revision.
Okay, final step in ecrt then.
Pretty much. The coordinator finds this task, reviews the adjustment details that have loaded in.
And they need to click the post button.
Correct. Clicking post is what actually applies that now verified adjustment to the ecrt statement itself, finalizes it.
Got it. But there's another button nearby, isn't there? The documentation had a warning.
Oh, yes, a big one. The post and maintain button.
What's the danger there?
You absolutely should not click that button unless you are positive that additional separate payroll adjustments for that same statement are still pending and need to come through later.
Because clicking it keeps the statement locked down, right? Expecting more changes.
Exactly. And if you click post and maintain by mistake,
Uh-oh.
yeah, you're back to contacting OSP support again at that same email address to get it manually reopened.
Anything else helpful for coordinators at this stage?
There is actually a nice little tip. You can click the % value link when reviewing the pending adjustment.
And that shows.
It shows the adjustment amount as a percentage of effort, not just the dollar figure, which can be, a much more intuitive way to understand the impact, especially in effort reporting.
That does sound useful. Okay, so wrapping this specific workflow up, understanding this flow seems pretty vital.
It really is. It gives you clarity on navigating what can be a tricky but necessary administrative path to get those certifications done accurately.
And for listeners who want the full, detailed procedure, maybe screenshots, where should they look?
The primary source is the eCert Effort Coordinator User Guide. You can find it on the OSP website on their eCert information page.
Great resource. Thanks.
Here's something to chew on. Consider the timing. What unique challenges or maybe workflow differences might pop up if a revision gets requested really early, say during the pre-review step?
Compared to
If that same revision request happens much later, maybe right when the PI is supposed to be certifying. The user guide touches on these on pages 23 and 34, actually.
Great. So we've essentially mapped this high-stakes system, pinpointing where you, the user, need to act, where the system waits, and crucially, how to get unstuck if things go wrong.
And that really brings us to the final thought, the big takeaway here. If you find yourself staring at a statement stuck in revision requested for weeks, the question isn't, what button did I miss in eCert? It's almost always, where is that payroll adjustment held up in the HR approval chain? And that is a real key to speeding things up and ensuring compliance.
Thank you for watching this quick clip on the revision request process in eCert. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the support team at the email address on the screen. Thank you for partnering with the Office of Sponsored Programs.